채널 젊은 달. 안녕하세요, 젊은 달입니다. 오늘은 영화 겟아웃을 각본 연출한 조던 필 감독님의 인터뷰를 통해 영화의 기획과 제작에 대한 비하인드를 알아보는 시간을 준비해봤습니다. 영화 탐구 시리즈 제3편 겟아웃, 지금 바로 보시죠.
This idea of social thriller to me is a film or a story that explores the horror of society. Human beings and the way we interact is the bad guy.
미국에 떠오르는 호러 3대장 중 한 명인 조던 필 감독님은 2017년작 겟아웃을 각본 연출하시며 90회 아카데미 각본상을 수상, 하나로 제작비 약 50억 원으로 박스오피스 300억 원을 벌어들이며 역대 오리지널 각본 영화 중 최고의 오프닝 성적을 보유하고 있고요. 이후 루피타 뇽호 주연의 차기작 어스를 찍으며 감독으로서의 입지를 다집니다.
The idea for this movie came from a deep-seated fear in doppelgangers. I love the doppelganger mythologies and different movies that have dealt with them. And I just desperately wanted to make my offering to that pantheon of evil double films.
이런 감독님은 코미디 센트럴에서 키앤필이라는 이름의 아주 유명한 코미디 듀오로 활동을 했었는데요.
What is it, buddy? Ducky. What? They're making another Toy Story movie. No! I thought those movies were done, dog. They made 3 movies. They did make 3 movies. This is number 4. Oh, shoot!
국내 인터넷에 돌아다니는 땀 흘리는 짤의 주인도 바로 이분입니다.
Porn? What's... Oh, pornography? No.
It's okay if you look at porn. I assumed you did anyways. I mean, every guy does. I'm perfectly okay with that, as long as it's not that weird stuff. Oh. All right, well, I mean, kinky's okay. I like kinky. As long as it's not that sick, twisted S&M stuff. Wow. Okay, I'm not gonna judge your journey. It is your fantasy.
이렇게 코미디를 찍다가 호러를? 조금 이해가 안 가실 수도 있을 것 같은데요. 놀랍게도 그의 이전 코미디 작업에서 또한 종종 호러적인 요소들을 목격할 수 있었습니다.
No.
Hey, baby.
How are you doing that?
Honey, what's wrong?
Oh, baby, I love you. I'm sorry. I was out. I was looking at other women tonight. But you are all there is. I love you.
You know, I've been in comedy for many years. So when you have the opportunity to put a lot of things in front of an audience, you notice it's like, oh, that one sketch that I thought was going to work and be brilliant, and I put everything into it, and it was hard to write. It doesn't work. And then that simple, stupid sketch that you just cracked yourself up on will work. That's kind of my advice to anybody, writer or artist dealing with writer's block, which we all deal with. Follow the fun. If you're not having fun writing, you're doing it wrong. I stopped writing this movie about 20 times because I thought it was impossible. I thought it wasn't going to work. I thought no one would ever make this movie. But I kept coming back to it because I knew if someone let me make this movie, that people would hear it and people would see it. I internalized the system, the lack of representation in the system. I can't worry about this movie getting made. I have to write my favorite movie that doesn't exist.
Sir, can I see your license, please?
Wait, why?
Yeah, I have state ID.
No. He wasn't driving.
I didn't ask who was driving. I asked to see his ID.
Yeah, why? That doesn't make any sense.
Here.
My feeling about the genre is that it needs to be a tailor-made worst nightmare for the protagonist. Any good scary moment or scene is not very intellectual, for me. It's from the gut. It's a feeling. It's a vibe.
Fuck this. We're about to go the other way. I can't. Not today. Not me. You know how they like to do motherfuckers out here, man. I'm gone.
It's hard to write a horror movie where the lead character does the right thing. Because as soon as it gets scary, leave is the right thing. Right. Everybody wants the main character to do the smart thing. Right. And there's just a tradition that's of horror that gets a little bit lazy on that. I realized was what Ira Levin did
with Rosemary's Baby and the Stepford Wives is he wove these very social thrillers, and he built them so subtly that the main character couldn't quite tell if something really dark and horrendous was happening, or if this was just garden variety, average social weirdness.
Thanks. Oh, where are my manners? Logan King. Chris was just telling me how he felt much more comfortable with my being here.
That's nice. Logan, I hate to tear you away, dear, but the Wincots were asking about you.
Well, it was nice to meet you, Chris. Goodbye.
You know, after Jeremy, the brother is like trying to put Chris in a headlock downstairs. We go upstairs, and there's a scene between Chris and Rose. And in the original script, Chris was like, "See, I told you, this is not, you know, this it's making me uncomfortable. I don't want to be here. This is what I was afraid of. You didn't see it, and now you're." And she was kind of like pacifying him. She was like, "Look, no, I know my family. I see it now. They're a little bit clumsy, and they're a little bit like say the wrong thing, but they really mean well, and just give us a chance. Do this for me, baby." And watching them in rehearsal, I was like, "Oh no, I'm onto her," right? Like the audience is feeling what Chris is feeling, which is like, get out, get out, get out, get out. Right. And for her to be the one that's taking away those arguments was just too much. So we flipped it. And that's where her sort of awakening, kind of came from. The other thing that really worked in my favor is that there's this trope of the white savior in movies about race.
It's Brad Pitt in 12 Years a Slave, right? It's like, don't worry, not all white people are evil. It's Costner in Hidden Figures, right? That's me. I'm not one of the racist ones. Like, no, but a movie wouldn't do that. You can't have the last good white person in a movie also be evil. They wouldn't do that. That shit is racist, you know? What I love about the mischief of the Rose character is that it subverts this thing, and that moment, watching that moment where she has the keys is like, that's my favorite moment in an audience, because that's when you could feel, specifically black people, you could feel them being like, yup, sometimes all white people are evil. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes it does happen though.
Be careful, bro.
What the fuck?
I didn't do anything.
What the fuck is going on?
Where are those keys, Rose?
You know I can't give you the keys, right, babe?
There's so many parts of this movie. I'm like, this is so pulp. This is. We have got brain transplantation on black people. We've got hypnosis that takes you to this other place. And what my heroes have pulled off time and time again is this idea of elevating the B movie premise.
Halloween is probably the greatest slasher film of all time, John Carpenter's masterpiece. And then, I really get into, what I call the supernatural killer franchise movie. I'm an 80s kid, so Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Plays, Candyman. These movies that are about a killer that has special powers. There's something about that dynamic of bringing in that sort of dark, magical element is sort of a release. It brings it to this realm of the imagination. Anything that resonates, anything that works in the horror genre, I think it's doing it because of some deep-seated societal reason.
You can't move.
Why can't I move?
You're paralyzed. Just like that day when you did nothing. You did nothing. Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
and the fact that, you know, black men are essentially abducted at a completely disproportional rate and sort of tossed away, and not just tossed away, but neglected, forgotten about by society, by myself. And so at that point I realized the sunken place was this symbol for the system that keeps us down. You know, I originally felt like it was black people, but I feel I've had many people, women, many people of all different races tell me they've felt that. So I honor that now, that this is a feeling of the voiceless.
I do something.
I mean, one of the things I decided in the beginning of this movie is I wouldn't have no artistry for artistry's sake, no cute angles or camera movements. No, everything would have to be in service of the story in the most as stripped down as I could imagine it.
We did it for $4.5 million. We did it for 23 days.
Every time I hit the wall of budget, I looked at it as a gift. If I figure this out, and I figure out in a way that makes my story better, then the story would continue to get better. And so they tell me, you know, okay, you can't have 40 background players. That to me means, okay, so the ones we have to place them very strategically.
Ability to go back and let your story be informed by the limitations is invaluable. Like, you know, money was always an issue, as it is with every movie and every TV show ever. My philosophy was like, anything they throw at me has to be the best choice that the fates have decided for this movie.
Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
The whole process of figuring out what this movie was about digging deep and exploring my fears first, and trusting that if I got that across, that we're all human, we're all made up of the same emotions, and that, you know, and this is what you sort of find in comedy as well, is if you put your truth out there, however specific it feels, however much you feel like this is just me, no one else is going to relate to this, no one's going to care, that's not the case. People are drawn to truth like magnets in art. It's really easy to see in comedy, because when something feels true and when something rings true, you get a laugh. And if it doesn't, you don't. And it's just that simple.
안녕하세요, 젊은 달입니다. 야, 너무나도 더운 날씨와 어디 로켓마냥 쭉쭉 올라가는 코로나의 요즘입니다. 저번에도 말씀드렸듯이 정말 어떻게 편집을 하고 완성했는지 기억이 나질 않는데요. 유익함과 재미를 동시에 잡으려 발버둥 치고는 있는데 도통 뭐가 뭔지 헷갈리는 요즘입니다. 지금 저는 살짝 번아웃이 온 것 같습니다. 본캐와 부캐 둘 다 정신줄을 놓기 일보 직전인데요. 잠시 재충전을 하고 집 나간 정신을 다시 붙잡고 찾아뵙고자 합니다. 평소보다 더 힘겨운 여름이 예상됩니다. 여러분들 모두 더위, 코로나 건강 유의하시고요. 시간이 걸리더라도 다음 컨텐츠도 많은 관심 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다.